43, 44, 45. Time is up now, is 103 Mercedeses. Just at this intersection here.
I traveled to Albania and looked high and low for answers as to why it has more Mercedes-Benzes per capita than anywhere else. Legend has it that sunny Albania's proclivity for Mercedes began in the 90s after the communist bloc crumbled. As I discovered, that was only half the story. Some secrets have just been very well kept. Rev hunts for clues that might explain Albania's Mercedes obsession. What better place to start than the capital? Tirana, home to around 500,000 people. And boasting a notorious Mercedes club scene. They are madly in love with the W124, produced between the mid-80s and the end of the 90s and eventually marketed as the E-Class. Slick old machines that look brand new, tricked out in every respect and with more than a few special features.
How does it work if you do that in traffic?
No.
No.
It's impossible.
It's impossible? Okay.
There are 3 such clubs in Albania with well over 100 members who travel to meets from all over the country.
Why this model? Because it looks cool or what?
Yeah, it looks cool and it's more unusual here in Albania that it's made just for fun.
Elton tells me these cars are usually in garages, but when out, they shine bright.
Classical thing, eh?
Gati vazolin për nxjerrje gomas, që mos duket goma se e përdorur shumë.
Yeah. Classical car sellers thing, actually.
With the club members on the streets, it's really hard to guess how many Benzes there are in Tirana, so I decided to check for myself.
I'll make a 10-minute street count here starting now. Okay, 1, now we're unlucky. 2, look at this one. 3, 4, 5. Look, there's 3 in a row here. Police is driving Volkswagen here. Yeah. That's a oh, there's a Maybach. We're at 40 now. We're at 40, what is it, 42, God. 43, 44, 45, 46. There's one from Ludwigsburg. 48, still the German number plates on. Time is up now, is 103 Mercedeses. Just at this intersection here. Yeah, I would say it's not bad, actually.
Time to figure out exactly how many Mercedes cars really ply the streets of Albania. So I visit the vehicle registration department in Tirana. They definitely know the numbers I'm after.
Në Shqipëri ne kemi rreth 740.000 mjete të regjistruara. Ideja është që e thënë ndryshe nga pikpamja e përqindjeve rreth 29%, 30% janë mjete të markës Mercedes-Benz të regjistruara në Shqipëri.
Around every third car on Albanian streets is a Mercedes. Most are second-hand, older than 10 years. But Arben says this large market share is dwindling, in part because to combat air pollution, Albania has banned the import of cars that are older than 10 years and don't meet Euro 4 standards. But with so many Mercedeses dotting Albania's streets, I ask myself where it all began. Let's deep dive into Albanian history, to a time when dictator Enver Hoxha ruled the country. And the best place to explore communist history in Tirana is the central Bloku neighborhood.
What is now home to entertainment, tourism, and of course nightlife, was back then the premises of Enver Hoxha and his gang. But what only very few people knew is actually that his favorite go-to car was a German classic.
Albanians were banned from using private cars, and Enver Hoxha wanted to be seen as a man of the people, which we now know was an elaborate masquerade.
So this is him.
His luxury German saloon, which no longer runs, is now parked in an old garage in Tirana. I'm meeting with Amira Pani, who today watches over one of the dictator's best-kept secrets.
And this here is like the original flag.
This Mercedes 600 or W100 type Pullman was manufactured in 1966 and was custom-made and personalized for Hoxha. The price back then is equivalent to around 200,000 euros today.
Why is it not in a museum?
Ndoshta kjo do të ishte okay kur të mund të ishte mirë në qoftë se krijoj një muze për mjetet të tilla që kanë që në dispozicion të personaliteteve të asaj kohe, sepse do të ishte okay për mirëmbajtjen, se nga koha ju e shikoni që kjo është dëmtuar.
Hoxha only covered about 7,000 kilometers in the car in 17 years, mostly on trips out of town and to his vacation spots. After all, this Mercedes was a state secret.
Nuk është se e ka përdorur sepse ai kishte atë kapacitet që mos të bënte atë diferencimin e madh që të binte në syt popullit, ndërkohë që populli në atë kohë ishte shumë i varfër. Lëvizjet nga vila e tij në kryeministri i bënte në këmbë dhe nuk ishte shumë i dukshëm, nuk binte shumë në sy ky mjet para popullit në atë kohë.
To get a full picture, we need to look at the history of Albania. After World War II, Enver Hoxha ruled socialist Albania for 40 years, leading his people with an iron fist and isolating the country from his allies. He broke with his comrades in Moscow and then with communist China after the death of Chairman Mao. Later, the increasingly paranoid dictator covered Albania with hundreds of thousands of bunkers. Many people ended up in labor camps, and Albanians suffered extreme poverty and hunger under his leadership.
There is a lot of history in the car, to say the least. How is it for you as Albanian?
Është pak ndjenjë ndryshe, se ta mendosh që ulesh në një vend që është ulur një hish udhëheqës, diktator normal, është pak është një ndjenjë e çuditshme.
This luxury car was not the only one used by Hoxha's party in Albania. They bought 7 Mercedes-Benzes at the time, all 280 SELs, plus Hoxha's 600 sedan. I wonder if this car could be the very first Mercedes in Albania.
Mendoj që kjo është indicia e dashurisë shqiptarëve për Benzin, nga aparenca, nga mendimi që këtë e ka përdorur ish diktatori dhe njihej si gjëja më e rëndësishme, më e sigurt, më me vlerë të periudhës. Por kjo ka qenë makinë goxha sekret, por indicia për shqiptarët, për dashurinë e shqiptarëve për Benzin, mendoj se duhet të ketë këllësat këtu.
Now that I tracked down a small but important piece of the puzzle, I carried on my quest to find out exactly why the three-pointed star rules Albanian streets. In order to leave Tirana, I need to get myself a car, which is how I came into contact with Elmas Peppa. He mainly rents out Mercedes cars and says the brand is so popular here because the roads were demanding and used to be particularly bad.
Mercedesi I përshtatet shumë mirë rrugëve në Shqipëri. Është off-road, është dhe në asfalt. Mercedesi është kompakt për të gjitha kategoritë e rrugëve në Shqipëri.
Yeah.
Please.
For him, German cars are good business. The car we rent cost 80 euros a day, but already has over 200,000 kilometers on the clock. So it's long since paid for itself. No wonder Elmas relies on Mercedes, but where does he get them from?
Düsseldorf, Hessen, Köln, Aachen is very good.
And you drove yourself?
Yeah, po. 2200 kilometra Düsseldorf, Shqipëri, vjet. Më mirë di rrugën në Gjermani, Shqipëri, sesa një rrugë Tiranë-Saran.
Our next stop is near the seaside resort of Durrës, with its picturesque beaches and Albania's main port. I meet Adem, a 22-year-old who loves vintage cars and is a mechanic in a place that some Albanians call Mercedes City, Shijak. Together with his father Hassan, he runs a workshop only for cars with a star.
From what year is the car?
1987.
Wow, 1987. Yeah, but the motor looks good, eh?
2.5 liter. Automatic transmission with 4 gears.
Yeah.
8 years inside. And that's brilliant.
Spare parts waiting to be put to use in the next classic car restoration. And right next door is the workshop where they run their family business.
This is the good place here. So all the tool assembly here, you have all the, like this. That's like a treasure here for Mercedes.
Hassan has almost 40 years of experience as a mechanic, and he let his son follow in his footsteps at an early age. He's convinced that it's the quality of German cars which made the brand so popular in Albania.
Asnjë nuk e ka këtë. Unë jam Mercedes-it. 3 herë bi botës, rreth e qartë dhe unë jam prapë.
And if the cars break down, Adem says, it's always cheap to repair them in Albania.
Mercedes are everywhere, so parts are more cheaper than other cars that you can find.
Yeah.
So it's not a low budget to keep a Mercedes. Old one, medium one, not S-Class. S-Class is other category.
Easy to maintain and robust, especially on demanding roads. These were once the main arguments for buying a Mercedes in Albania, but that's also changing in the countryside. We drive to Lake Ohrid, one of Europe's oldest and deepest lakes. In Lynn, where people survive on tourism and fishing, it's now almost a luxury to drive such big cars, because they can afford less and less, they tell me.
Makinat e vogla se harxojnë më pak, është kosto më... Edhe kosto e jetesë është më lirë.
Është kosto atë, domethënë që kushton më shumë.
Ekonomia. Rroga e ulët, pensionet e ulta kjo.
S'ka puni thuaj.
Kjo është më e rëndësishme, thuaj, kjo është. Se s'ka thuaj. Kjo është më e rëndësishme. Po s'pata e këtej shumë më mirë, shumë më mirë.
Bravo.
But as long as the wheels of their Benzes still turn, they say, they'll stick with them. The German brand still makes them proud and happy. In Tirana, for W124 fans, it's not so much about the money as it is about the details. Dash, as he calls himself, lives in the UK but brings his car back to his native Albania to have it restored. Because here, they still take care of old cars like his.
They know these cars better. They pay attention to detail. They deal with these cars every day. In the UK, they don't want to see these cars anymore. Oh, it's an old car, just scrap it. To find somebody that still got the enthusiasm, that's impossible over there. Now, all you get is people that do the job for a living, and it's just work.
And my impression after this trip? Certainly there are still many in Albania who are crazy about their German cars, but more and more people are turning away from them and looking for alternatives and cheaper solutions. And so the image on Albanian roads that has been shaped by Mercedes until now is likely to change soon.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to leave us a thumbs up and follow DWF for more stories like this. See you next time.